typically, you won't have to worry about this thing rolling on its own because it's got the stand and everything. So you can dig in dirt, but on metal, yeah, I had one of the, I think this is a 6-footer. I had one of the 5-footers, like one side down from this one, roll off of this trailer while I was trying to get loaded. I set it down, took the slack off, it sat there. I got out and pulled the chain off, and I bumped it with my arm. When I turned, it went right toward me. They're not, but because most of the weight sits on the tines, as long as this can turn, they can turn. Like right now, you can probably grab that on that thing and just slide it around on the bottom of the truck. Devin said it weighed about 1,200 pounds. Now I do have to pick this up kind of cattywampus. Can I ask one of y'all to stand over here so you can put a hand on it and keep it spinning around? That way I don't want it to hit the tractor. hooked up like that. So they have the chain right there, wrapped around them. Anywhere it's fine with it. As long as it's in a stationary spot, so that can't spin a lot. Yeah, see? Shaft inside returns. Right. This will rotate with the shaft at first until the chain catches. But there's this little plastic bushing right here that it spins on, a little bearing or something on it. And you can actually unclip this and pull the whole sheet off. But the only thing you can do that is cutting the drive shaft down. Look, make sure I got the pit. We'll straighten out one of the U-joints in it. Typically something like that. I had to let a shot move. Let's see, let me grab my go and jump chain.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get a spinning ship.
Set this stuff over here too. Sadly, that's not the heaviest piece. Right. That's in the heavy part. So Okay, back this.
Okay. The hood.
So pull out on this, push forward on this, and if you'll grab that right there and pull that away, you'll feel it when it goes straight out.
Okay.
Or maybe a little down and out. Typical, daily check stuff. Air filter. You want to make sure it's not clogged in your coolant level.
Okay.
I would open the radiator, but it's
already
been
hot.
running. Ain't happened. There's a screen right here.
Okay.
This one looks like you have to take this loose. Maybe take a bolt or two out right here.
All right.
Like if you're doing a lot of bush hogging, the screen will clog up pretty quick. It's just to keep grass and stuff from clogging up the radiator. If you can get a blower in there and blow it out from the backside, it'll work as long as you clean it out.
Yeah, we have.
I thought that was a 2-lane.
No.
Anyway, I've already gone over the oil and the fuel filter. Your DPF's up here. That's what that is. So, that's really,
What are you guys filling up the antifreeze with? Is that the RV off-road?
honestly, I'm not sure. I know the stuff we actually use isn't pink.
Okay.
It's, as far as I'm aware, it's just a green 50/50.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Uh,
Because that looks like the stuff that you for.
Yeah, this is the stuff that comes from the factory. I'm not sure if it says on it. No. We can call Sean, just double check before I leave if you want to. Just remind me, don't forget. But I think they usually just a green 50/50 is all it takes. I don't think there's any special kind of antifreeze. But we'll,
Yeah, that's the one I see at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know, for RVs and stuff like that. That pink stuff. But
yeah, we'll double check it just to make sure. So, like I said, I've gone over the oil and stuff, so that's pretty much it for daily checks.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a whole lot more you can get in depth in, but I'm not a full-blown mechanic.
Okay.
Although I like to think I am. And this one does not have the hood lock. Okay. Do need to make sure it latches.
Okay.
I had to deliver one tractor not long ago. Somebody didn't latch the hood all the way. I just happened to catch it and bounce when they hit a bump as I was leaving the dealership. I was able to pull over and catch it. But sometimes they'll sit down there kind of funny and they can pop up on you.
So that hood going down the way it did, this locks in place, period. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all spring loaded.
Okay, good. And then when you push it forward, then it just clicks in.
Yep, that'll click back in now. If you do pull it, you can pull it too far to the point where you gotta pull it back, get it back on there. It's really not that big a deal. Biggest thing is to make sure you don't have to move this with this forward, because you can hit that, bend stuff breaks. It's a bad day for everybody.
Yeah.
And this right here is the fill and dipstick I was telling you about with the front axle. Almost all the dipsticks are painted yellow on this tractor, as well as the drain ports.
Okay. So it's just chrome, just the
Yeah, this one side checks all axle. It's straight shot all the way through. You got your basic.
So does this have a 100-hour like oil change that needs to be done on 100 hours?
It actually has a. I know the first one is a 50-hour.
50-hour, okay.
Yeah, and that's the first one because again, it's fluids from the factory. They want it done at 50 hours so that you can make sure that it's not full of metal shavings. There's no
particulates in there.
Yeah, no particulates in it that could, adversely affect the motor. And then from there, I'm not sure when the next one is, but I know I've heard talk of a 50-hour and a 300-hour.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's 250-hour. I'm sure there's probably another service in there somewhere. I'm just not exactly sure of the hours.
Okay.
But as far as the 50-hour service, it's making sure everything's greased, changing out your coolant, your oil, front axle fluid, the gear oil, and hydraulic fluid.
Okay.
You're looking at about 10 gallons of hydraulic fluid. Alright, so in here. Now, all your hydraulics will relax with the tractor off. Everything will move down. This is the loader control. Forward is down, back is up. This is to tilt, and this is to dump.
Okay.
These are your third function controls. So it'll be like for your grapple. Not sure which one opens and closes, but we'll figure that out here shortly, in a few minutes. Heat and air. Your controls for your windshield washer, wipers, and your front and rear lights on the cab. And you got a Bluetooth radio.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Absolutely. Just make sure you don't fall asleep while you're driving.
Yeah.
Because you got cruise control too. So
Go down the freeway.
you go down the freeway about 20 miles an hour.
Till the cops get you.
As long as you got the insurance on it, this thing's legal to drive on the road.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You got
You have to
horn, you got blinkers, you got headlights, brake lights.
It didn't come with that. What's name?
The
triangle?
triangles on this side.
Oh, the triangle is on that side.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Yeah, it's legal.
Then we got the fork to move the truck out of the way, right?
That's it.
Got the triangle. Okay. Yeah.
You can't run your windshield wiper if your back glass is open.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It'd probably do some really weird sounding things.
Okay.
But having this open does help when you're hooking this up. You get a little better view. And I don't think these open on this one. Like I said, your controls for your headlights, blinkers, and everything's on this side. I got this other stuff to show you on this side too. So.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll start it.
Obviously, self-explanatory forward reverse pedals for the hydrostat. This is going to be your self throttle, or
Okay.
I'm not sure what the proper term for it is, but it's your throttle. Now it will auto throttle. As you step on the pedal, it'll throttle up and go as it needs it. But when you're running your PTO, you need to set the throttle so it doesn't drop below that point.
Okay.
So if you idle this thing up with this to say 1500 RPMs, it won't drop below 1500 RPMs. But if you step on the pedal, it'll go above 1500 RPMs if it needs to.
Okay.
Your PTO, you got a couple of controls for it here. Let's see. Okay. You got control here. Down is 540.
Okay.
Up is 540E.
540E.
You don't have anything to worry about with the 540E. Devin tells me he just tells people to put it in 540 and let it go. Okay. 540E is just a lower powered PTO.
Okay.
It's pointless for most everything you're going to use, from my understanding. In the middle is neutral. However, when you engage your PTO here, if you don't use this knob here, it will not engage.
Okay.
So he says he just tells people to set it in, 540, and then most people will just use this right here to turn it on and off. They'll just leave it engaged there. Okay. You have two modes here: push in, turn that way. It's auto. Push in to go back off. Push in, turn this way. It's independent. What that means, independent PTO comes on, stays on all the time. When it's on auto, when you raise the 3-point hitch up, the PTO will automatically shut off.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Now, I'm not 100% sure of the proper way as far as engaging the PTO. It's never been explained to me, but what has always made sense and what I've heard a lot of people talk about is when you engage your PTO, you want to do it at an idle. To me, in my brain, the way it works is if you've got it up spinning at speed and you slam that PTO in, you're going to start breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I have known people that will slam it in and full throttle.
Yeah, it's better to slowly.
I don't recommend it. Yeah.
Slowly engage it.
So what you'll do, you'll engage PTO, get everything going, and then mowing, tilling, you'll use this to throttle up. And there's 2 marks right here on the dash. You got PTO second, which is 540E, and PTO first, which is the 540.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little white dash line right there. You want the needle over that dash line, so it's about 2,600 RPMs.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time the PTO's running.
Okay.
So for you cutting grass or tilling up the garden, you'll want it set there, and then you'll just use the foot pedals like you normally would.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want it to drop down too low, because if it does, it'll bog it down and wind up shutting the tractor off. I mentioned cruise control. Put your foot on, push down as far as you want. Hit this little green button right here.
Mm-hmm.
If it's quiet enough, you may hear it, but there's a magnet that actually engages inside of the pedal, holds it in place, and you'll go at whatever speed you got set. It works just like a car. You step on the brakes, it disengages. You can also disengage it by clicking the button again. And then that one's for your 4-ways, flashers.
Okay.
This one is for your regen. I'm not 100%. I have not had to do one on one of these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure. I've been told a couple of different things. I know it'll start beeping at you when you have to do a regen.
Okay.
So it'll let you know that it needs one. You can push this button and turn that buzzer off. But I think you're also supposed to, with the tractor off, I think you turn the key on the on position, and then I think you had to hit this button a couple of times within a certain amount of seconds, and then start the tractor to actually get it to go into regen. I would double check with the book or Devin, just to be on the safe side, because again, I've never had to run it. You only really have to worry about the regen very much if you're running a lot, or doing a lot of work at a low RPM. If you keep it up around the 2,500 RPM mark, you won't have to regen very often at all. I think regens take about 20-30 minutes of it running at a high idle.
Okay.
These 2 controls here, these are for your rear remote, which are the 4 connections back here.
Mm-hmm.
These here,
Okay.
and they are color coded
Okay.
up here. So red to red, yellow to yellow. The yellow, I believe, is this one. Yeah. That is, I forget what the term, static, I think was the term.
Mm-hmm.
You push it one way and it stays there until you pull it back the other way.
Okay.
The red is just momentary.
Mm-hmm.
So you pull backwards on it to engage it to move one way, and when you let go, it stops.
Okay.
It's like if you wanted a if you wanted a hydraulic top link, you'd want it hooked up to the red. That way you can just adjust it as needed up here.
Mm-hmm.
If you put something back there like,
Backhoe.
nope, not even a backhoe. Backhoe, as long as it's hooked up, it'll have power going. You can move it without having to mess with these.
Okay.
Anything that would have hydraulics on it, like I don't know if they have a hydraulic mower.
Oh, like a log splitter. Okay.
Log splitter, yeah, because you push it, let it go, and then stop it. And there's also a float, I think, on this one. Pull it back this way, and it'll let the hydraulic free flow.
Okay.
It's got the symbol for it, but I've seen symbols without it actually having the function before. Tilt steering, always kind of nice. You've got a knob right here. This one right here controls the speed of your 3-point going down. So if you're adjusting it to drop the 3-point, which that right there is probably a pretty good speed, but if you put on a heavier implement and it, feel like it's slamming down, or put on a lighter implement and you feel like it's not going down fast enough, you can turn this knob and adjust it so it'll go down faster or slower. This one's your 4-wheel drive. It's right beside the PTO.
Okay.
4-wheel drive, up is off, down is on.
Okay.
This pedal here is your differential lock. It's only a momentary, so it's only while you're holding the pedal. I'm sure you probably already know it, but it just locks both back tires in, so it forces both of them to spin. If you're in a situation where this tire is bogging down and free spinning and this tire is not, that's when you want to use the diff lock. You don't want the tires to be spinning when you put the diff lock on.
Okay.
On this side, oh, hey. Ow. Your PTO, or the 3-point control is right here. So that's what controls it going up and down. Now on the side.
Okay. All right.
You do have a phone charger adapter or cigarette lighter, you know, the older generation calls them. This is going to be your range selector. You got A, B, C, D, and neutral. So A is going to be your low range, D is going to be your high range. Running in D, it's meant for on the road, fairly flat, and going. That's going to be where you get your highest speed at. But it will bog down real easy, especially if you're on hilly terrain. They can bog down to the point where it'll shut the tractor off even being hydrostat. So, unless you get out on the road with it, you'll almost never use D. C, I'd say you'd be a good, like, this property driving across just to get over there, probably be good. All your working is going to be done in probably either A or B. You might get away with doing the bush hogging in C, but I would stick with the slower speed, at least until you get a feel for how you want to do it. The tiller for sure is more than likely going to be A, low gear. Your brake pedal here. Now this right here is your parking brake. Step on the brake pedal, pull up on that.
Okay.
Or if you're flexible enough, you can stick your foot around there and pull up on it with your toes. You step on it and it'll pop loose like that. Now you can split the brakes on this tractor. I don't know if you've driven older tractors.
Yeah, I got a 49 Farmer on the back.
Yep. So you probably aware how that works. I think that's about it for the interior controls. See anything that you had questions about?
All right, so.
Ow.
This you kept hearing me talk about the top. Oh, this is your windshield washer fluid reservoir.
Okay.
It's a little dirty. Well, I didn't spray that off good. I did the rest of it. This is the top link. You heard me talk about that.
Okay.
Again, that's just to adjust the angle forward and backwards.
So on the auger, you're saying take the top link off.
Take the top link off here, hook the auger up here.
Gotcha.
That seems to be the way I remember it being hooked up. I did haul one with the auger on it. It's the only time I've ever seen one fully assembled in person. I do believe that's how he had it hooked up.
Okay.
And then the other piece, the little curve piece, will hook up here. Pins like this, I think they may have to be put on. And then it'll hook in the holes that run along the side of the pole up here. I think it just kind of, helps with the depth. You can go deeper or shallower. The auger, the post hole digger is actually one of the implements that I'm not very familiar with at all.
Okay.
Second one I've delivered in a year. So. You'll have this turnbuckle here. It'll adjust the side-to-side tilt.
Okay.
So it should be fairly level now. It's just kind of one of those, you get to look at it, see what kind of cut it makes, judge for yourself, if you think it needs to go one way or the other. Right now, these are set into the float spot, so they'll have a little bit of play back and forth. It'll allow the whole 3-point to sway.
Okay.
You can adjust otherwise by moving this pin. There's an arclet down here. Pull this pin out, and you can put it, say, here, and you can lock it in place so it's stationary and can't move at all.
So would you have to do that same over here too?
You do the same on both sides. It'll be stationary, won't have any side to side sway, or at least not very much. Right now it probably have a reasonable amount. Now with this particular model, when you hook the 3-point up, you push down on that, and this whole section right here slides out about yay far. Okay. That way it gives you a little bit of play. For me personally, what I found to be the easiest is I'll back up to the implement with the 3-point up in the air, and whenever it gets about here, whenever the center line of that's about here, I'll stop and lower it down and just kind of eyeball it right there, and then I'll come back here and I'll move that to stick it on there. Seems to be the easiest way I found to do it personally. You said you got an old tractor, I'm sure you know how to hook up 3-point. Those are the work lights I mentioned, by the way. The switches in there control them. I do not think they come on unless the ignition is on.
Okay.
So you shouldn't have to worry about leaving them on, forgetting about them. Okay. Any other questions about? Actually, there. Any other questions about this so far?
No. And again, just to go over, this right here is where the hydraulic fluid is at. This orange.
Yeah, that's where you fill the hydraulic fluid from.
Okay. And you said it's about 10 gallons.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be give or take. They do vary a little bit differently. This may hold a little bit more because of the hydrostat, but it should all be in the book, which is in that red folder over there. That'll be yours, obviously. Are you familiar with the little quick release on the PTO shafts?
No.
That's that quick release. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I'm talking about this little pin right here.
Oh,
this spring-loaded pin.
Uh-huh.
So when you go to take it off or put it on, you got to push that all the way over, and then you just slide it on once you get the splines lined up. Easy peasy.
Okay.
And I do believe both of these are slip clutch, which on this one you can actually see pretty easy, the clutch here. If you get to working it, you've been using it for a while, and you notice it's starting to seem like it's not doing quite right, you may have to tighten those up. They are adjustable.
Okay.
Again, the book. Book's in here. They also gave you some tools that probably aren't worth the metal they're made of, but you know, it's tools.
Now, is this always to stay in place here to keep the shaft in line?
That is just for whenever you disconnect it to hold the shaft.
Oh, okay.
Helps make it easier to back up to it. That way the shaft's not hanging down. You don't back up too close and you can't lift the shaft up.
Okay. But normally operation, you don't need
normal operation, you just hook it in right there.
Hook it in there. Okay.
I would take a pair of pliers and bend that out a little bit, because sometimes those aren't bent quite right, and these can get in there. These can be a pain to get to put in place, or they're just impossible to put in place. Just you got one of those, you have to stick it over there and see how it does. But yeah, just be, or a lot of people take them off. No, okay, yeah, that one's done right then. I did good.
You did good. Get A+.
Same thing with the chains, like I was telling you on there. Now that we got half of it, you can see what I'm talking about by the drive shaft 3 spins.
Okay. I'm just concerned about it getting in there and get caught and start switching and turning and tear it up.
F650.
Yeah.
That man must have some money.
They own a wheel company too. Those exotic wheels and stuff and customs.
Am I putting this on there wrong?
Yeah, that's how it
There
goes.
it goes. Ow! Like I said, I think there's one side that's just a little bit different in terms of length.
So just pull up on each of those.
Pull up all the way. Sometimes you may have to get a little rough with them.
It is what it is.
Whenever you start beating on them, especially if you start beating on them real hard, they'll jam up. You can keep them sprayed with a dry lube. At least in my opinion, I say dry lube because they are exposed. If you put a wet lube on there or grease, it's going to build up. It's going to catch the dirt and build up. Dry lube will help a little bit. All right, let's
Remove the forks and then hook up the grapple.
yeah, I'm gonna put the forks down and we're gonna hook the grapple up. But I need that more like that.
Okay.
You have any particular place you want me to set the forks?
Yeah, just put it right beside it.
I'll try to put it right there. You want me on that side?
On that side's fine.
Oh. You know about the glow plug, right?
Yeah, I mean, is it just like a standard?
Standard little curly Q light.
Uh-huh.
Wait for it to go off before you start. Especially in cold weather. Oh,
Got your pitot engaged. Okay.
it won't start until you engage.
Yeah, nobody's gonna pick this stuff up. Don't pick it up. And we gotta learn that. We gotta learn how to pick this stuff up and do stuff. Yeah.
That's not in. Got to unlock the other side too. Fat arms keep hitting the flash button. Hooking these up is just like an air compressor. and you saw that little drip of oil that came out. That's what I mean. Now, if you're gonna put it on there and you start spraying oil, there's a problem. Another thing that I would recommend. They will get down there and they will hang and they will drag.
So you need zip ties?
Actually, bungee cords.
Bungee cords.
You get a couple of bungee cords that you can wrap, around here and then hook to this. That way it still stretches. And you can hold it up out of the way here. Because, watch yourself. All the way like this, if you got it zip tied, it's gonna break. So you need to be able to have some stretching. Zip ties will break. Hoses shouldn't.
No, he said bungee cords. Don't put zip ties on it. So what was that, the left?
This here, open them.
Okay. Yeah,
That one's
closed.
closed. That's all there is to it.
Right.
Biggest thing with the grapple is make sure you remember to unhook the hydraulic lines before you take off backing up. If you get in a situation you feel like the tractor's bogging down, not got the power that it should have, or the 3-point hitch won't go up, make sure you don't have it. You hear how it sounds now?
Mm-hmm.
That's deadhead. It's trying to build hydraulic pressure through the remote back there.
Okay.
But there's nowhere for it to go, so it deadhead builds up pressure. It screws the whole thing up.
Okay. So we ain't doing that.
You won't have a lot of power. Your 3-point probably won't go up.
Okay.
It'll feel real boggy, so you'd be surprised how many times we've had a service call and it's just the 3-point was gotten bumped and nobody noticed it.
Dad, take this for a second.
I do have a friend with me, but I guess you can off right now. So you should have heat if you want to turn that fan on. Now just ease back. Is the park brake on? Definitely coming.
is closed?
Yeah.
Remember, with the bush hog, you got a lot of tail swing back there, so when you turn that bush hog's gonna swing sideways. So if you're right next to something, you start turning. Pretty hard to wear, but cover my face. Trying to make sure that anything I would tell anybody that doesn't know, I can say it too. Installing the tube. Installing the tube.
Watch it. Watch how you're backing now.
Just pull that towards you like I know. As soon as you're driving, I'm like, I guess I should have thought about working. Do what? Yeah. I think you're in B right now on the range. So I think you're in the second one. Like I said, I think you're in B right now. If you want to go fast, you can see. You'll know when you start moving.
Huh?
Saying watch the door. anybody that does that on a regular basis anyway. And if it gets really, really cold, you might want to consider cycling it twice. But like,
Now, is there a plug-in just like my diesel truck? No.
not on these, no. My diesel truck doesn't even have a plug-in. I got a 2012 250. That's what I was going to bring this out with. But with the tiller on the trailer, I was riding like this. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable like it. Because I just had those two straps holding everything onto the forks. And they were up in the air because I didn't have anywhere else to put them with the length of it. So I said, no, boss, I'm going to have to use your truck.
What's the weight of this?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
I think the ballast adds an extra, I think it's like an extra 1,200 pounds to whatever the tractor already weighs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure how much it weighs. I know that truck will pull it.
Truck will pull anything.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Now, when you're getting in and out, if you put the range selector in B or D, and it's a little farther back, it's out of the way. Personally, I like running it in C. I don't like running it in the C myself because it sits right up against my legs. This one's not so bad. We got some of them that shift are big and bulky and it's all up in your leg.
Okay.
Not pleasant.
All right, I got a lot to read real quick. And I got some stuff to move around.
I was gonna say, jump on it and have fun. Just don't break anything. You'll be all right.
Hey, look.
Hey, if you got any questions, you can give me a call. I can do the best I can to answer it. Dealership, Sean or Devin, either one.
Okay.